sorry about the wait. Unfortunately, I had an update, and yeah, so I had to wait for my update to finish, and it's only just finished now. And I've been trying to herd George into the lobby because he forgot about the race, which is always a good thing to say, isn't it? So we've got a pretty segmented grid, it's fair to say. So, let's jump into qualifying, I suppose. It turns out Mocking Week's probably in first, apparently. Yeah, Mocking Week's is on pole, we're 43.9. And then we've got Football in second, Mick third, Blackie fourth, Zebra in fifth. Blackie has some really turn of speed in these cars. Let's banning all this. Well, we have a positive. We can see Fodbolt's car this week. George's gone out on track. I think they're getting an extra 5 minutes waiting for people to see if they join. Yeah, hopefully George might be able to do something. Obviously, pre-season we're fairly unlucky for him, but this is his favourite track, and he said he'd smash everybody, but he forgot the race was today, so he's done no practice. He thought it was Friday. So I spammed him and eventually got hold of him, and he's managed to get in, which is great news. With Dory in just behind. As George actually does a lap and goes P5, just behind, well, half a second behind Black November. Just ahead of the Zebra, just about. But it turns out Ben Gallagher is actually on pole position. Half a second clear of Mocking Week, so we're 43.4. Mocking Week second then, Fodbold in third. Mocking Week's going to start the session in 3 minutes. I think he was just giving George a little bit of a chance to qualify. He's currently on his personal best, not purple. He's up by hardly anything, but we'll see what he's like in the last sector. Mocking Week's has given up on qualifying, I think. Fodbold hasn't quite. He's on an outlap now. But it's all about George, really. Can he get the lap to beat the Gallagher? He's 10th down at the minute. Going through the last few corners. But he has literally just jumped on this, so I'll cut him a bit of slack. But it is his favourite track, and the amount of practice he's put around this track is pretty unbelievable, as he does lower. And he drops down to 6th, actually, is Mick P4. think it was because Ben jumped up. So he's only had his 3 cars. Raul, in his 3 laps, hasn't really done anything. Did a 46.3 invalidated, I think. Got speed 4 just behind Fodbold. What's George's timeline? Don't know, we're purple. Right, November's going green. And George is keeping going with it. I don't know what his lap's like. Still got a little bit of life in the tyres, but it's 3 seconds off, so I think that's it for George. So probably the answer to this equation is probably Fodbold. And he's half second off at the minute, so it doesn't look likely for him. Raul has parked it, but November has span it. That was perfect. And yeah, it looks like Ben's going to claim pole by a mile. Unless something happens in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Apparently my internet's good enough, not good enough, but yeah, I'll stream an iRacing, no problem. I didn't think Fod improved too much there. That's inequality. So George gets away with it. I think he's in P7 with Zebra's lap, but I think Zebra didn't actually go out on track, so he might be last. Yeah, Zebra's last because he wasn't out on track. He would be fairly peed at that one, but yeah. But Ben Gallagher's the one on pole position. He's got Raul in behind him apparently. So did Raul go second? Oh, okay. So Raul must have pipped him at the last. That's interesting. There's the lights out and away we go. The leading SLR orange boy here, with Raul de Baba, has taken the lead of the race into turn 1. Ben Gallagher's had a shocker off the line as they go into turn 1. Fodbold just in behind Ben, so there's a bit of a threat there as Mucky Mix are dropping backwards as Fodbold spins the wheels up, and that's allowing George to come through here. There's a bit of contact there between George and Fodbold, and but it's fairly respectful, I suppose, as they all file through. Ben's managed to reclaim his second place. I can't change my camera angle, which is fantastic news. So he's stuck with this. As they all funnel through, as Fodbold managed to keep his 4th place just from George, and Black November's just in behind there. If there's a mistake from either of them. But yeah, it's Raul in the lead from Ben there, breaking away from Mucky Mix in behind, with Fodbold and George, and then Black November, and Mick, Dory, and then the Zebra is in last. So really looking at this train as Fodbold is now looking at Mucky Weeks, as he's going to make his move, and there goes George down the inside of all of them. Oh god. As George has now picked up a bit of damage. I'm assuming Fodbold might have as well, yeah, on the front of his car. So they both picked up a bit of damage as George went for the dive bomb a little bit there. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but Fodbold is getting swept up like a piranha to its prey. I don't know if Fod will pit this lap and just go to the end on something else. But he's getting absolutely mauled at the minute. Pressured by Mick there. But he stays out and he carries on. But George is now into 3rd, but Black November is looking to take that one away from him, and it looks like George is hanging it around the outside of Black November. So Blackie has to do the cutback, and there's a bit of contact, so George has now got brake damage on both of his tyres, as Black November got away with it. But Raul is still leading away from Ben, so Ben's been robbed at the start. It's just about, can he keep his cool and get that lead back as he sets the fastest first sector. But George is now holding up a little bit of a train with Mucky Mix and Black November, and then his Fogbold sort of on his own in sick. Obviously that incident there with George as he went for the mocking weeks, but he just keep it cool and hope that he can gain back. But fuel and tyres are really important, especially tyres, because they go off really quickly in this league. As George has got purple, but I think everyone is, as Black November is looking to catch George out of France here, but George is really late on the brakes as he showed in the last lap, as it looks like Mocking Mix is trying to squeeze through Black November there on the outside, but it looks like George has managed to keep the position for now. Black November's just slipping in behind in his Vodafone looking his British Vodafone car there. It's quite ironic seeing he's Northern Irish, but there's a lot of lag going off, so it's very difficult to see what's what. But we know George has got a bit of damage. And Raoul and Benny are having their own race. They're gone. 2 laps and 5 seconds up the road of anybody. And George in behind Black November is looking for that podium for sure. As you can see, they're doing 44s. And then there's George doing a 46.3 being behind. So unless there's a mistake up ahead, I think George will have to settle for his fight for the podium. Especially the way he wasn't here to begin with, and there's the Zebra and Fodbold are the two having a little bit of a ding-dong. A bit further back, and then there's Mick in behind who's struggling, and Dory's in the pits already, so we don't know what he's been doing, but Mick's not having the greatest of times. The Zebra, he's looking at Fodbold, I think. It's just a little bit behind, but there's this little battle between Mocking Weeks, Black November and George is all the range at the minute, as George and Black November have a little bit of a ding-dong. I wish I could have a different camera angle than this one, but Black November's got the position temporarily. George tries to go between the both of them, make that move stick, and that is a great move by George. Managed to go back through the both of them, and that's Mocking Mix ahead of Black November. But I really think if George didn't have that damage, he'll be up the road at the minute. But he's struggling a bit. Is Black November looking at Mocking Weeks? As George is just trying to hold them off really. He's not really, can't really keep up with these two, as Ben's actually taking the lead. As we get a grandstand view of this, as Raoul looks to make a move on Ben. Ben's got the inside line, so that's Ben keeping the position. But Ben looks slightly quicker than Raoul at this point, but Raoul isn't giving this one out of fight for sure, as they're going side by side pretty much every corner. As look at that from Ben, really forcing Raoul off the track. But these camera angles are absolutely horrendous. Let's try and change it to something different. As Raoul has managed to get the position back. There's a touch there. I don't know if Ben suffered from that. He didn't. He got away with it. Ben's tyres are a bit better than the Raoul's at the minute. That means he's been smoother with them than Raoul's. Raoul's more forcing them in the corners. George is still holding on to his 4th place. Black November just in behind, and Fodbold's starting to catch back up again. Got a little bit of a slippy rear end there, but with that damage he's got, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But these three are starting to catch up to these three up here. There's Ben still looking at Raoul. There's so many battles going off, especially in the midfield and the front two. There's Mocking Weeks and George. There you go. Into the hairpin we go again, and there goes Black November looking at Mocking Weeks again. But then there's George, and there's Raoul, and there's these two. So it's not a boring race to watch. There's a lot of action early on. As George holds on to Mocking Weeks so far. As Black November is looking at Mocking Weeks, but here goes George around the outside. And here goes Mocking Weeks down the inside. Can George hold it around the outside? It looks like Mocking Weeks is through now. But for how long? Because George is going to try something in the last corner. Surely he's going to try something in the last corner. He's run wide as George. He's run really, really wide. And Black November's got a slowdown penalty. He's gone that far wide. And it looks like Mocking Weeks got that position sorted now. Raoul's got himself a slowdown of a second. And that could cost him on Ben at some point. Depends if he can lose it throughout the lap or not. But it's important that Raoul gets rid of it fairly quickly. But Black November's slowdown hasn't gone away fairly quickly, as his fodbold is oh, his fodbold's in the wall, and in the wall again, and that's fodbold out the race. I don't know if there'll contact there between Black November and fodbold, but it did look a bit messy. As we'll look further forward, as the battle for the lead is happening again with Ben and Raoul. Will Raoul be able to get Ben this time down the straight into the braking zone? It looks like Ben has managed to keep the position. It looks like Ben might be able to get away a bit now. Credit to football for still going round. Those points are on the table either way, but he's going to be way back. As Black November is pushing the zebra around as he managed to slip past. But it's starting to die down slightly now. But the battle for the lead is probably the closest battle on track, as Ben runs to Narnia. And he's got a really good exit from it. But Raoul isn't giving up. He's got his gap down to, his penalty down to 4/10. His pace has dropped off a lot, but so has Ben's. So if he can get back where they were before, probably in the 45s, then he might be able to do something. As Fogbold will come into the pit, presuming. I mean, Dory hasn't caught him yet. Black November's pretty much got rid of his penalty now. Oh, the zebra. Very far out there. And here goes Mick, the Norwegian, who hasn't really been a factor in this race so far. He's going to make a move. I think Black November may have touched Fodbold because he's got a lot of damage now. And like I said, he got himself in the 45s, but Ben's beaten him, so that kind of rules that theory out. I know that Fodbold can set fastest laps and hope he gets people. But November didn't even repair his damage. But to be fair, Dory's come back into the pits. The only person to watch is George. As soon as he gets rid of his damage, he'll be like a rat with its arse on fire. And also the undercut could be a big thing here. I mean, 2.1 seconds is a fairly sizable gap, but with an undercut and overcut it could make a difference. Especially undercut, I mean, they're going about 55, let's have a look what this lap is. It's going 55.6, it's done a 56.4. Right, if Raoul can come in the pits, get out and do something around a 44, 43, then Benny's in a massive amount of trouble. Because George has came in as well and Monkey Mix, but they got really 13 seconds off out. But if Raul can go about 2.5 seconds quicker, and then Ben is in massive trouble. But Raul's out. The Zebra has been promoted second. With Mick in third, and then we've got Raul in fourth. But November's coming out. Dory's about 5 seconds away from Fodbold, so Fodbold could make something happen. Especially with the reverse grids, he can probably do something. But he keeps making these little mistakes. It's the same way for him, really. He's quick, very quick. He just makes little mistakes. It costs him. Unfortunately, that's just been here the whole of the last 2 or 3 months, I think. Whereas Mick, about 1.5 seconds off from the Zebra at the minute, so he's closing in on him as well. And then obviously Raul in his own air trying to push as hard as he can. Ben is in the pits. So where will Raul come out to head in turns to Ben? Well, Raul's about to come around the final corner. Starting to put fuel in Ben's car in a second. As Raul comes across the line, and it goes past the pit lane, and Raul takes the lead of the race. So there's not even a contest. Where's Ben? He's coming out of the pits now. Well, Raul has jumped him by 6 seconds. But the thing is, look at Ben's car. He's filled it full. And look at Raul. He's filled it half. Are they on the same tyres? If they're on the same tyres, then it's no difference, but we'll have a look. They're on the same tyres as well. Has Ben made a mistake by over-fueling the thing? I wonder. Rocket Weeks has put loads of fuel in. So is George. So is Zebra. So is Mick. Blackie. Dory hasn't. And Fodder has as well. He's got half. Is he underfueled? Is he stopping again? Oh, I don't know. What is Raul doing? So it's a bit of a mystery what's going to happen in this race. But Raul is well, he's leading for the minute anyway. I think he's pitting again as well. I don't think he can go another 10 laps on that. Well, he might be able to. Ben's on full fuel, so he's definitely going. But Raul's hit the fastest laps with 44 flat. I don't know what Ben can do. On his out lap, he's done a 44.1, so yeah, nip and tuck. But Raul have fresh tyres at the end, I suppose, which will go about 2 seconds lap quicker. In that's in about 7 laps time, 5-6 laps time, I suppose. Whereas Ben's will be awful, and I think he'll get ahead of him. George has an 8-second gap. He's more worried about the Zebra and Mick. But November's in the middle of nowhere. Dory is just trying to hold off the threat from Fodbold. But Fodbold's not really putting up in front of me. The Zebra's picked up a half-second penalty, which you can just get rid of. But George can be fairly proud. The fact is, he hasn't practiced all week. Ben. It's between Ben and Raul. I don't know who I'd rather be at this point. But Raul is setting fastest lap after fastest lap. Ben just needs to try and keep within like 15, 16, probably about 16, 17 seconds. I'm not sure how long the pit lane is. But he's dropping back a bit. The longer the laps go, the more he'll drop back. And the fact he's got fresher tyres and still dropping back probably means the low fuel's doing him a lot of good as he as Raul goes and does the fastest lap into 43s this time. But he needs to keep it clean, Raul. He needs to not pick up any penalties. Same with Ben. But he's 7.5 seconds off of Raul. It's going to be very interesting as Raul's dropped 3 tenths in that sector, so his tyres are starting to go off a cliff a bit. But I don't think Raul's going to get to the end, especially on them tyres. Raul knows that Ben's good on his tyres, so he's pretty confident. He's got 9 laps though. It's tough. It's tough. We don't know who's going to win. I think Mockinmix will struggle to get to the end, to be honest. If Raul's going to struggle, Mockinmix will. But that fuel's going down pretty quickly, so that's just Raul is pitting again, about lap 16, 17, and then going for a sprint at the end. Unless they put it on the limit of fuel. So who'll win? SLR E-Racing Orange or Ben Gallagher? Consistency. Have to wait and see, but Raul is starting to drop a little bit now. That's because his tyres are starting to go. That's sort of expected. But as soon as Raul pits, it'll be lightning. So he's done a 44.7 this time. Ben has gone all sorts of wide, but he's done a 44.0. That's 7 tenths he's gained in that lap as Ben. But what can Raul do? In response, he's 2 tenths down in the first sector and he's fastest. That's about 41.1. That's already slower than Ben's 44.0. They did in the last lap, but what's Ben's sectors like? We don't know. But he's catching, that's for sure. Any battles on track? Oh yes, there's Zebra and Mick. I think this is the only battle on track at the minute. But it looks like Mick is just about to get his prey. So what's the lap times looking like from the front 2? I think Raul isn't far away from pitting again. Give it 1, maybe 2 more laps. Do you know Ben's going to struggle? He's good on his tyres, but he's going to still struggle to get to the end of this. 45.3. And I mean, he's going to be off the cliff. 7 more laps on these. He's been on them since, I think he's been on 3 or 4 now. Gap's coming down significantly now. That's Raul's tyres dying out. I mean, look at the difference in tyres now. Just flicking between the 2, you can tell. Mockinmix is dying as well. So his pace is starting to go a bit. Whereas Ben is just in the 44s. What's this lap going to be like? It's definitely caught him. Raul, I'd say, has to bit this lap. Because he's did a 46.9 on that one. And Ben went 1.4 seconds quicker. And plus Raul's going to run out of fuel soon. Sort of hoping the fuel could counteract the tyres, but the tyres are probably just as important. You've got to find the right balance. And then he'll have 5 laps to blast on the last lot of tyres. I'm quite surprised how well Ben's doing on his tyres, to be honest. He's doing really well. He's keeping nice and smooth. I think that's the only key to it. He's found something the others haven't. But yeah, this lap's a bit more stable, I think. So maybe this is the time for Raul to do his 5 or 6 laps of 144s and then just try and get Ben by the end of it. Depends on if he can keep the pace. The Zebra is 7 times quicker than Mick at the minute, so them two are just having a bit of a on-track ding-dong. As Raul pits, will Ben pit? I think Ben's going to the end. I think he can make it to the end. It's going to be tough on the front tyres, but you don't have to put as much fuel in. And Rocky Me's side has got a pit as well. Now it goes back out. Ben is going round. He's about 2 corners ahead. And it says 16 seconds. I'm not sure Raul can catch that, to be honest. In the 5 laps. That's near enough 3 seconds a lap. Ben will be probably 46s all the way now. 46s, 47s. At most. Raul will have to do 43s, 44s. Him pitting again. But as you can see, Raul's already caught a second, so he needs to keep it up. But Ben stays out. I think he's going to the end, but he's going to really be dead on time. So let's have a look at football pace. What is he running? It's 1 minute 50 was his last actual lap on dead tyres. He did a 46.6, that's not bad. Raul's doing a 44.2. So he's getting a couple of seconds, but 4 laps, a couple of seconds. It'll be down to about 6 if he carries on at that. So Raul has to either go a couple of tenths quicker or Ben has to go quite a bit slower. Or both. But Ben's tyres are definitely going. Well, look at the next split where he is on his lap time. So Ben is about 1.2 off his fastest, and that's with quite a few corners to go. Raul is going quickest of everybody, so he is really pushing for it, but now he's a couple of tenths off. There's Ben, I should say, 1.5. It's about 1.5 off of this lap of Raul's as well. But I don't think Raul can do it, it's just not close enough unless it really goes off the cliff for Ben. So Ben did a 46.6. Which is about where he's at. He's done 3 46.6s on the trot. And Raul did a 44.3 and did a 44.2 throughout the floor. But look at Ben's tyres. I don't get how he's eking them out so much. This lap it should be under 10 seconds for sure. And then with 2 laps to go, 5 seconds is not going to be. He's not going to do it really. Unless he does a Black November like last week, where his tyres have gone and then he ends up skidding off the road. And that Black November was going to win that race. Fodbold and Dory are having a bit of a play. Have they ended up on the same part of the track? I think it should be fairly light work for Fodbold, but this is Dory we're talking about, the Italian, who back long ago didn't start here and took off the grid with him. Well, the battle for the lead is probably the main focus, as Mick has probably lost out on the zebra. Look at their tyres, Jesus Christ, that's what Ben's should be like, but he's kept them alive through consistency. It is now under 10 seconds, it's convincingly under 10 seconds, as Ben now has dropped off. The pace has gone from Ben now. Raul has 3 laps to catch 9 seconds. So it is possible for Raul now to win this race. I'm saying it. If Raul can keep up 44s like he is now, under the 44.5, something around there, while Ben's on a 47.7, he can win the race. It's just about can he. Ben won't be able to really hang on. I mean, if he catches another 1.7 seconds on this lap, he lost 1.5 in the first few corners. I mean, it's very close, but I think his tyres are going to drop off then. I thought Ben would have this one, to be honest, but my mind's starting to change. Especially if it gets to under 6 seconds with 2 laps to go, then it's anyone's. To be fair, Raul's not going that quick. He's going quick, but he's not blasting it. But Ben's tyres have dropped well and truly off, and it looks like it will be going under 6 seconds on this particular lap. 3.2 off his fastest. So Ben looks like he's bottled it, but still a long way to go. With 2 laps to go. It is now under that 5 second mark now. The Raul is really reeling him in. Is it now is going to drop below the 5 second mark with 2 laps to go. This is going extremely close. Raul's done a 44.8. He did a 48.7. That is 3 seconds. And if he carries on at that rate, Raul is going to win this race. It's just about, can the German catch him, the Irishman? With 2 laps to go, it's going to be a grandstand finish here. and it's not something that I was expecting, to be honest, especially with Ben coming out a bit 16 seconds in the lead. But it's looking very close indeed. Depends if Raul can get within a couple of seconds of Ben this particular lap. If he can get within a couple of seconds, then I've got to say Raul's the favourite. This is pretty much half the gap. He's half a second off his fastest. Ben is dying like a, I don't know, lawnmower with arthritis, and a green lawnmower with arthritis as well. I mean, how bad's that? But Raul isn't quite there yet. He's got to overtake him. Catching the car is one thing, overtaking is another. He's a second off his fastest, so he's going to drop into the 45s, but Ben's that slow, it doesn't really matter. But with 2 seconds, it's under 2 seconds now. Unless Ben's just playing with him. But I doubt it. Is Ben going across the line now? There's a 49 flat, his slowest lap of the race. And Raul did a 45.5, so it was nothing special. It's just that Ben has nothing. And even for the man who has been known to save his tyres the best, he's still not been able to keep them alive, and it looks like Raul's just going to sail past at some point. Just about when, 8 tenths, he's on the last lap. It's just about when for Ben, I think. Half a second, it's nearly within a half a second. Can Raul make a lunge and make something happen on this last lap? It's down 3 tenths now between the two. On the last lap, it was 16 seconds 5 laps ago, but the tyres of Ben have just dropped off the cliff. And here goes Raul, and he's going to sail round the outside of a lead that Ben should really have won. But Raul has claimed it. Will Ben be able to send it down the inside, or is his tyres well and truly gone? His tyres couldn't hold out, I don't think. And I think Raul now has claimed the victory away from Ben on the last lap. He knows how it felt to take it off in Black November last week, and now he's had it taken away from him by the one person he probably didn't want to, Raul de Baba, or Raul Cian Baba this season, who obviously races for me. I wind him up a lot with Ben. I told him he wouldn't win this week, and it looks like he isn't, and he's going to lose out by about a second in the end. But it didn't look likely for Raul, but he's come back in a time trial sprint and won the Lago Maggiore Grand Prix in Italy, with Ben, unfortunately, I can say that, unfortunately, picks up that second place, with Mockinmeat's third. George looks like he's going to pick up fourth. Hasn't really had the pace. I mean, oh my god, no wonder he hasn't had the pace. Black November in 5th. Mick and Zebra are still at it, and I think Black November's picked the both of them, to be fair. Oh, Zebra's pit again, so that's why he's quite far down. And Mick has no tyres, that's why he's dropping. And Dory and Fodbold are putting a bit of a spectacle on at the back, making the best of what they can only describe as a horrific race. I think Fodbold will probably want to finish last, to start first in the sprint. I think that's what I'd be going for instead of letting Dory have it. But yeah, that was quite a good race actually. Quite enjoyed that one. For GT Sport, that's not bad. Ben bottling it again. And yeah, it looks like Black November, the Zebra just about got Mick, well, by 2.1 seconds in the end, but it's a lot closer than it was. It looks like Dory's going to get Fodbold in the end. But with the reverse grid, my guys will be starting on first and last, so we've got every chance. And then someone in the midfield as well. It's a shame they're all on different teams, but that's a perfect start for Al. Then he got fastest lap as well. I'm a beast. The banter starts now. Back November, Fodbold. But it'll go down in the record books as Ben Gallagher bottling it. But the podium, Mocky meets Ben Gallagher and Raul Muller. And we're going to get underway in 3 minutes time for the reverse. I'll put my 5 pence in. That's maybe a bit nasty. We'll censor that bit out of the. Oh, I love winding people up, it's funny. Got some biscuits here. Fuck off, Nathan. I bet Ben's pants are clean after that finish. Don't all start without me, I need to spectate as we come to the sprint race for the SLR. Round 1 of the GT Championship. That's quite cool, that is. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As we see Fodbob padding in a familiar position to him. In the lead of the race. Whereas the back two aren't familiar back there, except for Ben is, I suppose. As we can now switch camera views. Because George has already picked up a bit of damage off of Mocking Weeks. As Black November is sailing off to Narnia. But looking further forward, Podbold is got a decent start. He just needs to survive the next 6 laps ahead of Dory and then he's won the race. I mean, simple, isn't it? Especially if Dory's twitching around like a lunatic like that. With Mick in behind, Zebra, Blackie, George holding up Mocking Meeks, Ben and Raoul. Whereas Raoul's looking at Ben for not the first time. He's looked around the outside of Ben, might make it. Was all going both with Ben. We're looking at George and Mocking Meeks. George is doing all sorts of tactics ahead. Raoul trying to switch back and look at the run. Raoul's gone Ben, and Ben's been mugged off. Oh, there goes the Zebra, who's found himself in last place now. There's oh, Raoul and Mocking Meeks have come together. Been neither getting damaged, but they just had a bit of a dong of a ding. And that's allowed George to get away slightly. Well, the other SLR blue car there. But Raoul is looking at Mocking Meeks around the outside possibly. Oh, that's cheeky from Ben. Down the inside of Raoul. It's very close, but I think Raoul has managed to keep that position as Raoul tries to go around the outside. Mocking Meeks are blocking Ben on the inside. But now Raoul's being blocked in by Mocking Meeks on the inside of that corner. As they go sweeping left, it looks like Ben's got that position back. Looking at the lead, Mick has actually kept up with Dory and Fodbold. Then there's a bit of a gap to Black November. As Raoul has slipped down to last. He's fighting with the Zebra. Mocking Meeks has managed to catch back up to George. Is he really trying to get past him? I think he's about to, as George went a bit deep. But it's this flat out thing. This won't affect his downforce, will George? So he'll fancy his chances. Going into the hairpin. As he goes to the right hand side of Mocking Meeks. He left the door open, so don't blame him. Into the braking zone. Mocking Meeks goes a bit wide. Looking for the exit. Ben Gallagher's looking down his inside, and that'll scare anyone away, I tell you. As George is getting swamped by Mocking Meeks and possibly, oh, Ben as well. Because the top four hasn't changed a dot, whereas Fodbold is starting to get away from Dory. There's Mick. I think Fodbold's got the fastest lap as well, 44.1. So that's a decent lap from Fod. George and Ben are going side by side. I'd expect a bit of animosity between these two. Because obviously George races for me, and obviously I know the history between me and Ben, me trying to get Ben, and Ben already signed with Mick. And then I basically said how bad he was. And ever since. But I think Ben has now got that position pretty sealed. Now it's up to Raoul as George makes one little mistake and is now down to 8th. Raoul flying the flag for the orange team. Obviously Benny for some reason isn't here, and I don't actually know 100% why. And TYP's pedals are coming in the very near future, so he'll be here next week. I think I'll be here next week as well, commentating for you, bringing you live action of the GT League. Mocking Meeks isn't giving up on Ben. But an interesting battle for second place here, with Black November's involved. With Mick and Dory. That's an interesting view to give. But Fodbolt's, I think, is gone. I think he may have had this race won. And here goes Mick on Dory for second place. But Dory holds it around the outside. Keeps his cool. The Italian stallion. Dory. Just Ben's pulled away from Raoul, who's got past Mucky Mix now. So can Raoul do a repeat of the last race? I doubt it, but he'd rather had the win. But Dory's holding them up a bit, I suppose. What's the lap times for Dory? I have a sneaky suspicion Ben might actually get these three. All of them. Mind you, Raoul's keeping with these three now. Mucky Mix has been dropped. And the Zebra as well. And George is now in last. All on his own with engine damage. Same as the pre-season race for George. He managed to get fourth in the first race, so he'll be fairly happy with that in the future. Oh, Dory on exit. And now Ben's joined this fight, and it can't be too long until Raoul joins it. The Dory train. Oh, Raoul! And that is Raoul with engine damage as well. That's two of my drivers with engine damage, losing on the curb. So really, this Fodbold, and that's it for me at the minute. But Ben is doing a sterling job for the team consistency. It's just about can he keep it up as Mick has run wide. Allows Ben to go past. Will Black November try something rash? Let's hope so. Down into the hairpin. Black November, unlike his usual self, keeps it fairly conservative, but doesn't get too far away from him. Keeping it nice and tight is Blackie. Will he make a move into here, or as he knows Ben will get away? No. I think Dory is Ben's lost target. Is probably going to get second place here. No win for Ben, but 2 seconds won't be a bad result for him. But Fodbold is about 8 seconds up in the lead. I'm just chilling, really. And Ben dispatches a Dory fairly quickly on the final lap. So that'll probably be it, as Dory runs wide, and that gives Black November the podium. So Dory has blown second in what was 2 corners. And now Dory should be going back down to 5th, if Mick doesn't bin it first. Oh, well, Dylan Curtin has fell asleep and then didn't wake up, so that's why he missed the race. Well, I would have made 10. I don't know where my guy Benny is, and then there's a few more. There's a whole team not here. Zeb was teammates. But forget about that. Podbolt's won the race. Ben manages to get second. Black November claims third place. Dorian fourth. Mick fifth. Mocky Meek sixth. Zebra 6th, 7th, Raoul 8th, and George 9th. Interesting to know, the fuel, I'm pretty sure that everybody starts on the same fuel, and why is, I mean that's quite a lot of fuel, so. Dory's harsh on his fuel, whereas Mick, even Black November, Mick's very good in his fuel. But George will come in last, and he's been down last corner characteristically, but obviously he didn't practice, so I'll let him off. Got a photo! Nice publicity shot of George. As Fod is the grandson there. Fastest lap, pole position and all that. So that'll be the end of this week. And yeah, it was fairly interesting the first race. The second race wasn't so much, unfortunately, but we'll see who, why and where no one turns up. But Fod wins a race, and I'm pretty sure he's happy with that. Well, Black November claimed the podium, but I don't know how long for, because I think George has wanted to report him. But we'll see you all next week for the round 2 of this championship. I can't remember what track we're on for the save my life. But yeah, I'll have the T2 race up as soon as I can, as soon as I can commentate on it. So I'll see you guys later.